Okie dokie. Well, that wasn't great, but getting marked is going to be the bane of our existence pretty much across the board on this character. So that's not too much of a shock by any stretch either. And let's see. Yeah, let's go there. Hopefully it doesn't hit us, and it does not, in fact. And there we go. That is much more manageable. Let's keep fighting training, and let's bring ice magic back online. I'm not in a very decisive mood today, so I'm not sure where I want to go. Let's head back upstairs and think about this for a brief moment. Again, we do have all these lovely fire spells. So there's something to be said for that. As well as it's nice getting fire and cold, because at least for the start to mid section of the game, that pretty much covers your bases. I mean, early demons and whatnot still do show up every once in a while, and they will ruin our day, don't get me wrong. But it's at least a half-decent start for us. So, you know, let's actually turn off that ice magic, and I think I will start training a wee bit in the arts of fire as well. If we can bend ice and fire, that just seems like a lovely little advantage for us to eke out here. And perfect. It's nice that we finally are playing on a character that isn't just constantly panicking when we come across Hydras. It's been a while, I feel, since I had a good Hydra killer. And so, at the very least, we can celebrate that together. Okay, get back some of our expended consumables in the form of those teleport scrolls. And here we go again. Do I dare? Well, you're stepping into my ice. That's a decent start. What else can I do here? If you step next to me, I can double down with frozen ramparts, but until then, won't worry too much about it. Let's drink this might potion. You know what? I think I will actually frozen ramparts. And if you could just step right up, perfect. Honestly, just ideal. Fantastic stuff. And that goes much more smoothly. Ooh, Robe of Resistance. I mean, I really like the Archmagi. But there's something to be said about a Robe of Resistance. Let's carry it around temporarily. We'll have to throw out something pretty quick here, because I just have a ridiculous number of things being lugged around at the moment. And here's where all the confidence I had against Hydras goes to die. Oh geez. 10 health remaining. Let's see how our odds lie here, though. We have a 17% chance to paralyze you. That's probably not good enough. We might just have to go for the kill and hope we make it. We could also enact our armor. With 10 health, they hit for up to 18, and we can get armor up to 18. So if each of those hits for nothing, which is possible with that stat lineup, then that is by far the best choice, but I'm not feeling quite so confident. So I think what we will do is probably go with the Ice Blast, hope that the Freezing Cloud mixed with the Ice Blast does enough damage. We're up to 21. Decent damage on the Ice Blast. You hate to just put it all on one die roll, but I guess sometimes that's just the way it's gotta be. Oh my gosh, you didn't attack. Didn't do like any damage on our part either, so that is terrifying. No way it happens twice, right? I guess we could go with Temporal Distortion here, and at the very least, potentially the Hydra will be slightly further away from us. And in fact, I think we have to. Let's just save our skin here real quick. As tempting as it was, for me for sure, to just put it all on the line in one final die roll, I think that this just makes a certain amount of sense. We'll have to try and kill this bear before they get up to us, which is not looking great at the moment. There we go. Oh gosh. Please stop. No more monsters. Dungeon, if you could be so kind. At the very least, that's good damage against our snake friend here. And then we can just freeze them off. Okay, now will you let me heal? Will you give me but a moment of respite? But there we go, we got to use the first of Chebriatus' abilities that really is a lifesaver. So oftentimes when you use Temporal Distortion, all the enemies just keep walking and forget where you were in the first place. Truly a thing of beauty, you love to see it. And we'll head up this other stairwell now that we've found it. It will hopefully put us in a slightly better position the next time that we come across our Hydra pal. And there we go. Now we're at the stage where we need to start dropping something. Anything, really. Stones can definitely go. Oh, +0 robe. About dang time we got rid of that son of a gun. Oops, let's try that again. What else do we want? Ring of Strength, Ring of Fire. And it burns, burns, burns. There we go. Just a smidge of inventory management. And we're good to go. Oh, hello, Prince Ribbit. Shouldn't have too much trouble facing off against you. Beautiful. You gotta love that unavoidable damage we have going for us. Ah. Slightly more concerned now that we're bringing some other friends to the fray. But still not the end of the world here. Especially if our froggy pals could be so kind as to walk through our freezing cloud just slightly more often. I would greatly appreciate it. Guess our other option is that we could actually use this poison spit that we haven't been touching for the longest time here. That works too. Fantastic. 8-headed Hydra, hey? Ah, there we go. We have been noticed, so guess there's no time like the present, but to start loading up all of our goodies, and this time do incredible amounts of damage. Of course, when life isn't on the line, that's where you want your best rolls. Use up all of the luck that we would rather have stored up for the scary bits. But of course, not the end of the world, all things considered. And that is perfect. Oh, Tyrant Leech is still somewhere on the level, but I guess that's beyond our pay grade, so we just completely ignore them, and we'll keep it moving. Ooh. What a matchup. Our slowest Naga boy in existence versus Gastronaut the Ponderous. Who wins, one slow boy or another equally slow boy? The battle of the ages. We can definitely hit real hard with some of your abilities, and we can't resort to what is oftentimes the main method for dealing with our friend there, which is to kite the ever-living crap out of them. Oh, hello, Gastronaut. Okay, I guess we're doing this, you and I. If you just want to keep standing in the freezing cloud, occasionally leaving it, that works, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to complain. And what else can we do to potentially help us along? We can now Frozen Ramparts, so that you're slightly in range. Can also add some poison to the equation, and we should be able to kill you. Fantastic. We'll gladly take your hat. Thank you, sir. Lose 1 AC for that, but it's almost definitely a worthy trade-off for the extra spell power and castability for everything we got going here. And that is fantastic. Oof. So we take way more damage than expected, but not the end of the world. Ooh, and also failing Freezing Cloud twice in a row. Not everything we could have hoped and dreamed of. In fact, yeah, 2%? No way, hey? How's that for luck? Apparently we really did use up all of our luck earlier. But not the end of the world here, as we'll continue forward. Ooh, and get another artifact robe? Maybe another Archmagi, but better in other regards? Or not, but still sweet to see some level of hope. Let's just get all these suckers fully immersed in freezing clouds on the other side of deep water. I feel like that's slightly strange. Normally, they run away from deep water, but I guess they didn't have much of a choice. When to run away was to enter into more clouds, really. That's the ideal situation. Getting all of our foes in a bit of a lose-lose. You love to see it. Let's just keep on keeping on, shall we? Lair is definitely one of my favorite sections of the game with this type of character, because it is just truly incredible stuff. So we blast our way through without too much ado about nothing. Fantastic. And onwards we go here in Lair 3. So we did see that we have Spider. Spider works pretty well with the mixture of poison and cold damage, so I think I'm happy with that for sure. Who's to say what our other S branch was, or did I already... Oh, it was Swamp, and I just totally missed it in my haste. Swamp is not too bad. Normally, Swamp can be really brutal for Ice Elementalists because you are no longer able to use Frozen Ramparts. Fortunately, we have Freezing Cloud up already on Chili here, so that is slightly better to say the least. Not an insta-win by any stretch of the imagination, but much, much better. And there go with level 13, we also get strong enough to finally start constricting our enemies. You do love to see it, and definitely have to start getting some poison on you, my friend. Kurari darts and all. 6 throwing nets. Like not to waste those if at all possible, but we'll see how she goes here. Perfect. A little bit of constriction helping us out there in the fray, as it were. And let's just keep going. Tab is very dangerous on this character. I'll tell you that much for free. That was very scary very quickly, but no real problems. We'll just get back in the saddle here and see how she all goes. Hello, friends. Kill you, and I guess the bear already died off screen. Sorry, my black bear friend. Had to be done. And so it continues. Well, that's slightly terrifying. A lot of things that can move through deep water in that mix as well, I'm afraid. But we can get up some nice walls of cold clouds here. Jeez Louise, apparently I wasn't kidding around. There are a bunch of enemies. What did we kill? 5-headed Hydra was almost dead. Feel a bit more experience. So I guess we killed something off screen? No idea what. Hopefully it was another Hydra. Otherwise, we're just putting off the fray, and we're gonna have to deal with all those sons of guns at a later date anywho. Here we go. If we can get enough damage with our cold spells, by the time we come here, single constriction and turn does the trick, then I am very much a happy camper. Fantastic. Even Death Yaks, no real issue for us here today. Oh, I definitely do not want to get too cocky either, because this is a brutal floor, to say the least, with what we've seen already. Let's put up a nice little front here we can even step into just to make sure that it all works out. Yeah, if I stack enough poison, you should just die. Fantastic. Love to see it. And similarly, you can probably fight off one tiny frog boy. Of course, as the rest of the level starts wandering in, we may yet live to regret these statements, but for the time being, still very happy with how it's going. Ooh, and a summoning book is not everything we were hoping for there, unfortunately. Not the end of the world by any stretch, but maybe less than ideal. But even 8-headed Hydras ain't got nothing on me. Perfect. No idea where the rest of the floor went, though, and that still terrifies me to this day. There's a bunch of Hydras, a dire elephant. Oh, this snail as well, right? Don't forget about you. Can't forget about you, my friend. Fireball is now fully castable. Let's see where Ignition is sitting. A long ways off, but it is starting to come down, so I think it might be worth it to keep this fire magic chugging for the time being. We have really high int with Che, so we generally don't have to get skills to quite the same training level as you oftentimes do. but we'll have to see how it all shakes out. Again, there are still these enemies wandering around somewhere, and that scares me. It says partially explored. Why won't you take me here, out of curiosity? I know why I don't want to go there, but I don't know what auto-explorer's issue is. Ah. Well, you're a problem, my friend. Let's, read a teleport. Then what can I do? Oh, we do have Slouch available now. That's something I should have been paying more attention to. Deal nice damage to everything faster than us, which as a Naga of Che, quite literally, is everything. So we should get decent Slouch damage. In fact, that's something, if we had it when the big mob came, there's a chance that we could have blasted our way through a large chunk of them. Still happy with what we ended up doing, but maybe something to keep in mind for the future. Let's go with the temporal distortion. I just need a little bit of time for the teleport scroll to take effect, and there we go, we do eventually get there. And that dire elephant, I guess, is gonna have to wait just a wee bit. Let's keep heading down to layer 5 and see how we fare instead. Hopefully slightly better. One thing that we haven't done thus far, but is definitely on my mind, is that we could very easily find ourselves switching over to heavier armor. I do really enjoy this, but a little bit of extra physical protection I think could go a long way in the whole keeping ourselves out of terrifying danger. And, alright, Zom's chessboard piece we can't use either because it has the chance to do speed effects. Thank you, Che, for keeping me honest. I appreciate it, of course. Otherwise, we'll just keep on chugging on here. Keep on keeping on, as it were. Hello, my bear friend. Oh, gosh. No idea where you went. Oh, there you are. Perfect. And we should once again be able to make it through this in one piece. Hey, Necron, you're looking forward to tuning in early, but you only get my notification like an hour after I go live. Probably dumb phone. Yeah, I'm sure there are always lots of kind of things that fall through the cracks on the Twitch side as well. I wouldn't be surprised. It's hard to get all of that working perfectly, to say the least, but regardless, I'm happy to see you, and you kind of lucked out this time around because the start of our stream was just the stream fully crashing and me awkwardly staring here and like, I'm not sure, are we here? Are we back? Or am I still gone? So, perfect timing, really, and welcome. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. As mentioned, it's always lovely to see you, and I appreciate it. Okie dokie, let's keep our senseless murder train chugging along here, shall we? Doot doot. And elephants in general are kind of our worst enemy. Not in this case, but in general, the way that they trample oftentimes kind of ruins your cold magic vibe. Fortunately, again, not such a case today, and we'll just curb stomp our way through all of our new friends. Hello there, my snaky boy. Except for that one. Now, again, all snakes we're not killing. There's no way I'd do that. That seems pretty fricked up. Instead, we're just inviting them to our party, and they're cheering us on in the background, as all things should go. Great, actually, how about me? I beat Formset a while ago, right? Just last week, so just last Sunday, we managed to get through on our Formset ADOM Ant, and it was a pretty solid run, all things considered, and yeah, I was happy to see the victory there. So you just barely missed it, but we're just starting Naga today, and this is of course our very first Naga. Definitely did not murder 4, 5 just senselessly earlier in the evening. That doesn't sound right, but it is the first one that we really got off the ground running here, so very happy with how it's all falling out here. And so what do we wish to do next? We could head back to regular dungeon. We know there were some scary buddies we left behind there. D9 had the Death Knight, the Freezing Wraith, which is a big problem as an ice elementalist for sure. Do I dare go to Spider Swamp, though? I guess we left Layer 6 pretty quick there, because you never know what kind of big, scary end vault is going to show up on Layer 6. But if it's our best option, then it is what it is. Let's see, we go up to 18 AC with those Koopa's armor, which is decent amount for Spider. We also have Slouch, which is going to just absolutely steamroll in Spider. Incredible work should be done by that, as long as we're not spending all of our piety to do so. I guess one thing we can do before then is actually read this ID scroll and see what else we have in our pack. Amnesia, not useful right now, but we will definitely be taking advantage of that later. And Ignition is starting to come down fast in terms of failure rate, so we should have that castable at a ridiculously early point in the run. Well, let us go and see what Spider's looking like here, shall we? 3 times for up to 16, not the end of the world. You are resistant to cold, which I kind of hate, but is to be expected. Don't want life to be too easy now, do we? Let's throw this here, and we can always escape if it hits us. Fortunately, that's not the case. Let's kill some of these Tarantellas before we end up confused in a bad situation. And let's see. Do I stick around? Because the redback should die pretty quick. Slightly more worried about this son of a gun in front of us. Less so if all the spiders keep hanging out in the cold clouds of their own volition. Definitely not unhappy to see that. You can tell we make a lot of noise here. Resistant to fire, but nothing in the cold front. Perfect. Well, let's just blast that down real quick. And I guess we'll just keep chugging here. This is kind of what I'm hoping for in general. In Spider, Ghost Moth there, unfortunately a bit of a deal breaker. That is terrifying. I mean, it's nice we have See Invisible, otherwise this probably would have been the end of our character, because I wouldn't have even noticed this son of a gun until it was too late. Jeez Louise, my friend. Resistant to poison and cold is a bad combination for me. Let's see what Swamp is looking like in this day and age, shall we? Anything terrifying this way? Hydra, not the end of the world. Let's just blast our way through you, my friend. Perfect. Only 5 heads, just an itty-bitty baby. Hydra Pal. Let's slap one of these down real quick for our new friends. Fantastic. And definitely rest up, stand on the stairs, because there's no shot that we run away in any meaningful capacity. Swamp worms also terrifying on a Naga, especially Naga of Che. Positioning becomes oh so important for us. So anything that can ruin our day in that regard has got to be handled with a certain amount of care. Oops. Right, music is going to stop for a bit. Forgot to disconnect my headphones from my phone today. My bad. Hopefully it doesn't start auto-playing anything other than our Spotify music when eventually it finishes here. Oh, geez Louise. And it's probably weird, awkward silence on your end. To me, I can just hear my phone ring, and that's about it. But there we go. And we're back. Thanks, Adrian Talons, for playing us back in. That is perfect. Oh, never thought about that combination before. Swamp Worm in my own freezing clouds. I'm my own worst enemy, Old Sun. Terrifying stuff. But managed to make it through in one piece. And fortunately, the majority of these sons of guns are slowed by all of our cold shenanigans. So there is that, at the very least. And let's just start picking away. It's so funny with this high of a stealth that even when we're throwing around something like Freezing Cloud, the majority of enemies are just suddenly woken up by the the biting cold and have no idea what's going on. Definitely just drop that right on top to make sure it hits. You, my friend, also have got to be taken care of in relatively short order, if at all possible. Oh, your poison clouds are going to be a real pain in the rear here. Well, one other nice part about Nagas is that oh geez, you're gonna hurt. In shallow water though, we still get the movement penalty, but we don't get the fighting penalty because we're at least big enough for that. But a bunyip coming up all of a sudden is not what we were hoping to see here. I think we'll have to use one of our God-given abilities, maybe temporal distortion, and hope that it just keeps walking. I think we're gonna give it a shot. Oh, that's not good. We have 3 fear scrolls, so that's something. I think we're gonna have to just dip into that early and even read a teleport, and we get brought right back to the entrance. Okay. I mean, that works for me. Are you winning, Bunyip? I sure hope they aren't. Just give it a few more minutes and we'll find out, I guess. Somebody's got to give, and my guess between me and a Bunyip would be me, but hey, maybe I'm just a little too negative, a little too pessimistic in that regard. But here we go. Bog Body's immune to poison, cold to resistant. Apparently this is just not the place for us, really, at the end of the day. Fortunately, plus 10 mace is a bit harder for them to argue with. I'm guessing you're very resistant, if not immune to cold? You're not. Oh, you have made a terrible mistake, my friend. Get some of these ice clouds chugging along. You are immune to poison, if I had to guess. That much is true. So what else can I do? I can bring out some armor. Wonder what's more damage, my own cold or the spectral mist? I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to be the spectral mist. So let's just... or my own cold cloud, sorry. So let's just stand here and finish off our new friend. That will be lovely. Okay, this is less lovely. Immediately read teleportation. It's our last teleportation, which is not grand, but hopefully gets us far enough away from our wormy pals. Don't notice me. Perfect, thank you. We have a bit of an understanding, that dragon and I. You don't bug me and I won't bug you. Perfect. Until now. I'm so sorry to betray your trust. It had to be done. I hate to admit it, but this was my plan from the start, my swamp dragon friend. Okie dokie. How are we feeling about swamp after that? Not great, for sure. Not ideal, but pretty much nowhere is going to be at this point. Maybe we'll head back out to regular dungeon. If only that ghost moth didn't show up on Spider 1, that would have been our best bet, I feel, because we at least have enough undodgeable offensive power to kind of blast our way through those sons of guns. I guess the flip side is we can check to see ignition is down to 34%. Oh gosh, that's close. Let's go back to dungeons, shall we? Oh, Tyrant Leech, hello. You must have missed the initial purge, which I don't know why I'm saying that in a questioning way, because I knew, in fact, that you did miss the initial purge. We saw you just fleeing out the corner of our eye earlier. But okie dokie. Back in the thick of it. Ooh, Centaur. Centaur zombie, no problems. Normal, living, breathing, healthy and warm Centaur, terrifying. So hopefully we don't come across any of those sons of guns, and let's just keep you chilled out here. Regen becomes pretty solid on this kind of hybrid character for sure. If we can get the sustainability, it's probably worth it. I'm curious at how much switching off the Archmagi robes is going to affect us. Maybe, just maybe. We should head back here. I said head back. Okay. That's cool too. Let's just give it a brief moment, I guess, and then we'll head back. Perfect. Oops, that's not the right one. Let's head up here And let's see if we swap over. Currently everything's fairly castable there. Ignition's at 32. Swap over to the leather armor. Goes up to 43% on ignition. Everything we have should still be castable, and indeed it is. I guess we could also look at spell powers. 34% on freezing cloud versus how we looking here. 45. So not in a huge difference there, not an appreciable difference. Maybe Ozakubu's armor, like this brings us to 18 with Ozakubu's. If we break out of that and try it again, we go up to 16. So we actually lose out on some AC in exchange for the regen. Let's maybe stick with the robes for now, but we'll keep that in mind as a fairly decent option for the future. And perfect. Now we can go back to hopefully letting our artifact mace kind of carry us through the early encounters here. That's the dream. Oh my gosh. Again, we lash out with the freezing cloud to introduce ourselves to people and immediately have no idea where the heck they're heading. There we go, and we get our entrance to Orc, which should be a nice little boost of experience while we're at it. I think I feel comfortable heading down here. I think I still feel fairly semi-reasonably comfortable fighting off against these sons of guns. Wow, nothing but giants, hey? You're not gonna give me any of the easy outs here, are you, DCSS? Well, fortunately, we're still fairly ridiculously strong, all things considered, so we will just make our way through this encounter relatively straightforward. Head up maybe for a quick heal and mana regeneration. Quick sip of the drink too while we're at it. Perfect. And let's just head once more into the breach, shall we? Not too shabby. And oops, let's stop wandering around here accidentally almost walking into my own clouds. I just start spamming buttons sometimes. I can tell that I'm not in the most patient of mindsets today. So I'm definitely getting a little heavy-handed in that regard to a certain extent, but shouldn't be too bad at the end of the day here. Even with an Orc Knight coming our way, we put up enough freezing clouds that these kiddos don't really stand much of a chance. Baby orcs, if you could make your way on over, please, so I could murder you. Thank you kindly. So thoughtful. Ah, well, there are a bunch of new friends for us to introduce ourselves to in just a minute here. Make sure we're tip-top shape, and then we will just blast the ever-living crap out of you, my friends. Well, definitely kind of does the trick. Oh, we did get paralyzed, which is very bad. Not great. Jazzy, you need a fun new array/background combo? Who's got one? Fun, hey? What kind of fun are you looking for? Do you want it like full ride through, or do you want some risk at the start, but then if you can get it through to the mid-game, you'll probably be rolling? Because if it's the latter of those two, I'd probably lean towards like an ogre character, because that's some of the most fun I've had. Dragon form manifold assault ogres are just truly absurd and a really good time to boot. Okay, we are taking a decent chunk of change. You also are gonna hit real hard, my friend. I guess we could go for something like a slouch and see how it all shakes out. Let's see, that should kill most of you. So now it's just you and me, my warlord friend. No more smites coming in. What do I do with you? Already half health, which is fairly decent. I guess I can bring a box of beasts in, even though we don't have good evocations, so it is going to be maybe a bit lackluster, to say the least. I have fear scrolls, which aren't guaranteed to work. but at least is quite literally something. 17% chance to paralyze you, not ideal. Guessing similar chances of charming. Fortunately so. And there we go, perfect. Just as we drew it up, no problems whatsoever.